really shows that they're investing heavily to try to, at least take on a Netflix or an Amazon.
Apple Music stuff, much less defensible, much higher cost, much lower margin. This streaming content stuff, same story.
Apple's spending $6 billion on original shows. Is this over the course of 1 year or multiple years? They're going to get Jennifer Aniston, Steve Carell.
The original reports months ago was that, Apple's only going to spend $1 billion, which always seemed a little bit light given their service revenue ambitions that they've been going after for the last couple of years. So I think the $6 billion number is new, but not necessarily a huge surprise for Apple. And it really shows that they're investing heavily to try to, at least take on a Netflix or an Amazon Prime and have something competitive.
Yeah. I mean, I think Netflix is spending, this is saying Netflix is spending $15 billion a year.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 10.
Well, I think it was 10 to 12 last year, and then it goes up every year.
I mean, it's just not sustainable. But so Apple's trying to get to $50 billion in services revenue by next year. What else is in services revenue? That is the take rate that they're getting from the app marketplace. Last I checked was at least $30 billion. That might have been a year or two ago.
It's iCloud, Apple Music, that kind of stuff as well.
Right. So this $50 billion, I mean, that's actually not that big of a number when you have at least $30 billion coming from the 30% that you make on every dollar spent on an app. That gives you, right? And then the iCloud subscriptions and other things like that, your Apple Music, roll that in there. This isn't that big of a delta to get to $50 billion by next year. So I'm not blown away by this number of $50 billion. But the interesting thing is the $50 billion here, not every dollar of revenue is equal in the sense of its margin, in the sense of its defensibility. The Apple Music stuff, much less defensible, much higher cost, much lower margin. This streaming content stuff, same story, much lower margin. The revenue from the App Store, extremely high margin, extremely defensible, and has very high growth rates. It's actually probably got to be closer to $40 billion these days. But to me, this is kind of a drop in the bucket for Apple. It's kind of just a little nudge so that Apple can probably hopefully crush that $50 billion number and Tim doesn't have to go back on his word. But, it's really just spelling bad news for Netflix, if anything, which we've seen this coming. Netflix, Disney, Apple. Yeah, Netflix is just in a tough spot.
Everyone's
AT&T,
piling in.
Comcast, now maybe CBS and Viacom now that they've merged. Yikes. Hi, this is Alex Mozed. Thanks for joining us on Winner Take All. If you enjoyed the content today, which I bet you did, please comment, subscribe, and definitely message me on Twitter when we're doing live streams. Also, please note, all opinions expressed about stocks or public companies on the show are exactly that, opinions. This is not investment advice. Don't act on it. WisdomTree licensed Applico's Platform Insights data product to aid in the creation of the PLAT ETF. Thanks for joining us.